high temperature, high heat. Don't mind me, just washing my OnePlus 13. Still works, no problemo. Wow. Smells like lemon.
What's going on, guys? So first things first is that the TV sticker is officially going to stay here until I hit 100,000 subscribers. But talking about this comparison video, the conclusion is going to be very different from my other smartphone comparisons because there's a part of me that has a hard time coming to terms that there is a smartphone that I've deemed to be one of the best smartphones for 3 consecutive years. It might be dethroned because of a worthy challenger, not because it's better in every category, but because of one factor and one factor alone. Our sponsor, nobody. Now, in all seriousness, I was going to say price because comparing the Ultra to something like the Pro Max by Apple is a lot easier because the price difference is so close. But when a $900 phone comes up against a $1,300 phone, that's a difference of $400. And the question is it worth the extra $400? First, everyone's new favorite category, call quality. So first I'll do a regular call on cellular, and then I'll add in the WhatsApp video call, and then I'll also add in the Wi-Fi calling on the WhatsApp side as well.
This is a call quality test, and I'm using cellular on both devices. So I'm connected through 5G on both devices. So you guys let me know how it sounds. So hypothetically, if you're out and about, someone calls you, and you're connected to a cell tower, the other person's also on a cell tower, this is what the quality would be like. This is a call quality test using cellular on both devices. So if both people are not near Wi-Fi, this is what the quality would be like. I'm calling from an iPhone 13 Pro. So you guys let me know how the quality is. This is a call quality test using the Wi-Fi calling on WhatsApp. You guys let me know how the quality is. So hypothetically, if I'm a person using WhatsApp on Wi-Fi and you're also connected to Wi-Fi, this is what the quality would be like. So you guys let me know how it sounds. This is a call quality test. This is using WhatsApp with Wi-Fi calling on both devices. So if both devices have been called on WhatsApp using Wi-Fi, this is what the quality is like. You guys let me know how it looks and sounds. This is a call quality test, but I'm using Wi-Fi on both devices to do a video call on WhatsApp, so you guys let me know how the quality is. Calling on iPhone 13 Pro, so I'm not exactly sure how the overall quality is, but I should be pretty clear. Wi-Fi is pretty good. It's about 300, so you guys let me know how it sounds. I'd say as a receiver, looks okay. It's a little bit lower lighting, so it is darker, but overall I'd say, I don't know, seems pretty good to me. But you guys are the ultimate verdict here. This is a WhatsApp video call test using Wi-Fi. So this is if both devices were using Wi-Fi and called each other on video chat, what the quality is like. This should also give you a pretty good representation of what the video, I guess, stream playback would be on the other device. So if I'm clear, if I'm audible, you guys let me know how it looks and sounds, and then we can switch on over to the Samsung.
Coming off of the call quality segment, SIM card wise, the OnePlus here in the States has dual physical SIM, which I would say is a major plus for me, and it also supports eSIM. The S25, on the other hand, only has one physical SIM slot. The others have to be eSIM, at least here in the States. I want to emphasize that. Internationally or outside the States, you might have a nano SIM, but here in the States, we only have one regular SIM card slot. So my other new favorite category is build quality, and that's because both of these phones are rated IP68. So if you were to drop either of these in a bucket of water, leave it in for 20 minutes or longer, believe it or not, these phones will be fine. I apologize because I think I'm actually making a mistake because the OnePlus 13 is actually IP69 rated. So if you decide to leave your device in the washer, for example, the phone can withstand that. And I understand that's a pretty extreme example, but in terms of durability and withstanding more extreme conditions, the OnePlus 13 is a better device. However, the vegan leather blue variant matches the S25 Ultra with it being IP68 rated. Now, I've swam in the ocean with the 15 Pro Max and even the 13 Pro on the iPhone side, which is IP68. So I don't think either of these phones will have problems in most water conditions if you don't go super deep. But if you decide to go deep, the OnePlus 13 is going to be completely fine. Now, let me get these devices out of here because I know some people in the comments are probably having a mini heart attack of me dropping these phones in the water. But yeah, let's just continue talking about build quality and whatnot. So the OnePlus is built out of aluminum versus the titanium frame of the S25 Ultra. Now, as a consumer, that's great, but if there was a cheaper option to take aluminum on the S25 Ultra, I would take that. And if both of these phones offered plastic for an even cheaper alternative, I'll take that. Because the reality is most people are going to wrap these devices in a case anyway. And I really don't even know what the whole push is for titanium outside of marketing and just believing that the device is more premium without offering any real benefit, I would say. I probably shouldn't do this. I should probably put that over there and wipe this down. But yeah, believe it or not, both of these devices are glass on the front and back. I would argue if you rock the OnePlus 13 naked, I would say it's more sleek and it has a more premium design to it. I'd say anything other than the white, you're just gonna get tons of fingerprints all over it. I don't know how this got past the design team, but once again, most people are gonna slap on a case anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The white on the OnePlus 13, I don't have it in hand, but I'll probably show a picture here. It has to be the cleanest design I've seen so far this year. So design-wise, it is subjective. I know some people prefer the more boxy shape. Other people prefer the more curvy shape on the OnePlus 13. Lately, with the OnePlus 13, I've been having issues with the palm reading or my finger on the corner touching to prevent some actions. Quite annoying if you ask me. The boxy design does have a pro in that category with, you know, everything being squared off except the corners. However, in terms of one-handedness, the Ultra is definitely harder since it's slightly taller and a slightly wider device as well. Even though they are slight, we're talking millimeters, that's a huge difference based off your thumb. So overall, in terms of the designs, I would say the Ultra is a more professional looking phone. And the OnePlus is slightly professional, but it looks like it also wants to have some fun with it. For me, I'd pick the OnePlus just because I prefer the easier one-hand ability. If you have if you have big hands, or if you just want a big phone, the S25 Ultra is for you. OnePlus is also known to have a hardware switch on the side, which can switch between silent, vibrate, and the sound on. Everyone else in the industry, I'd say, has kind of moved over to the software control of, you know, measuring whether you want this to be, where is it? You know, sound on, vibrate, or sound off. Initially, I actually kind of preferred having a hardware switch. I was like, don't leave this hardware switch button that we have. But I can kind of see why companies have kind of foregone this because it's kind of useless because people don't typically change that often. And at that point, you just put it in the software. Sometimes, at least on the OnePlus 13, I wonder why I'm not getting notifications. That's because sometimes when I put this in my pocket, the switch actually switches it off, so it's not on vibrate anymore. So I'm not getting those notifications. And you know, with it being in software on the S25 Ultra and some other phones, you pretty much never running into those issues. I would say when OnePlus, when it comes to this design, it's completely fine to keep the hardware switch. But if they want to maintain this, at least have the vibrate be at the very top, very bottom. Having it be in the middle, when I would say that's the commonly used option for people, is just a recipe for disaster because you're going to run into the problems that I run into. Anyway, I'm harping on the sound switch long enough. That's pretty much the crux of it. The buttons on the S25 Ultra are more clicky, and I have no idea why the sound is on. I can definitely go back to vibrate. But yeah, like I was saying before, the buttons are more clicky. Okay, if you just want to be on, that's completely fine. First is the OnePlus 13. It's way more subtle. You don't hear it as much. You also can't tell where the 5G is on the OnePlus 13 because it's not like it has that etching or, you know, that free space that it does on the S25 Ultra. I'd say in terms of modem and speeds, I really don't notice a difference between them, even though this is here for the S25 Ultra, but the OnePlus 13, that design isn't there. Biggest selling feature of the Ultra, or at least I would say used to be one of the best selling features, is the S Pen. Bluetooth or not, it does function as a pen. So if you need to jot something down real quick and don't have pen and paper, The Ultra is clearly the winner, and I do use this from time to time. If I'm in like a meeting, I need to jot something down real quick, and I don't have like my notepad with me, I'll just take out my pen on the S25 Ultra or pretty much any Ultra series and start jotting stuff down. So that is a clear winner when it comes to, I would say, productivity. Now, the camera designs on the back are interesting choices from both companies. We have a circle and a vertical implementation. I like them both. They've definitely evolved over time, more so on the OnePlus. I used to hate it up until the 12 series, which was last year. Believe it or not, I still have the OnePlus 9, and this is what the design used to look like. And as you can tell, they were going for that vertical aesthetic, but then they switched over to this circle. So glad that they kind of, you know, made their own icon for how they want to identify themselves in the industry. And then, you know, OnePlus, Samsung is still going with this vertical design, these big rings. I would say you can definitely spot a Samsung out in the wild now with these 5 rings. I'd say the 3 main rings, the 2 sides rings will let you know that this is a Samsung device. The Ultra has been the same for many years, so nothing really to write home about here. Speaking about cameras though, let's go to our first video comparison and you guys let me know how they look and sound.
All right, so this is a video and camera test against the OnePlus 13 and the Galaxy S25 Ultra. If I sound a little bit under the weather, it's because I have a bit of a congested throat, but it shouldn't affect things too much. So it's always surprising whenever I do some type of new Galaxy review. It's always when it's snowing. So this should give you guys a pretty good representation on what the video quality is like. I'm also going to switch to the ultra wide on both lenses. They're both 0.6, and I always like using water as a good reference point on which one is smoother. I have the active video stabilization turned off on both cameras, but walking a little bit closer to this water here. But what I will do is kind of zoom in here on both cameras. So they both offer 2 times. I'll stay here for a bit so you guys can see the quality difference. Now I'll switch to 3 times, which switches over to the proper lenses on both cameras. So the OnePlus offers 6 times, but the Galaxy offers 5 times. And Galaxy also offers 10 times as well. So if you want to punch a little bit farther, you can do that on the Galaxy. So I'd say this is a clear win on the Galaxy side in terms of zoom capability. They also offer the smooth zoom. So if I want to zoom in, kind of pan in, you can do that. Also pan out very slowly, just like so. And I can do something very similar on the OnePlus side here. I just have to be a little bit more, it's not as smooth. As you can see, it's a little bit more rushed, but if you have slow fingers, slow hands, you can definitely do it. And we're going to walk around a little bit more, give you guys a better taste. It is drizzling a bit, so if the cameras aren't in the best quality, well, hey, this is these cameras in their natural environment. I'm not trying to do any super controlled testing here to make these phones look as good as they do in the marketing. This is, you know, real world experience. So I don't know if the cameras are capturing the drizzle effect. But you guys let me know how they both look and sound. I'm gonna do ultra wide one last time. All right, Samsung did say they improved the ultra wide lens on the new iteration of the S25 Ultra. So you guys let me know if you can tell the difference between the OnePlus and the Galaxy on the ultra wide lens. I'm gonna switch over to the 1 times and see if there is any major difference. So now I'm using the 1 time lens. You guys let me know how things look. I'd say the 1X lens is the lens that a lot of people are going to be using the most. I know a lot of people are going to be saying you're not supposed to be saying 1X. It's actually something millimeter, but wow, this goes on forever is what it looks like. All right, enough of the front or the back cameras. Switch to the front cameras and see how they look. All right, so this is a front-facing comparison between the Galaxy and the OnePlus 13. You guys let me know how everything looks and sounds. In my previous video, people were saying that the OnePlus had better skin tones, but I guess that might be some post-processing. I'd say my skin tone from the preview screen looks way more natural on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. But wow, this is such a nice shot on the OnePlus, by the way. Let's see if I can kind of get the same on the Galaxy. That is super nice. But yeah, you guys let me know how it looks and sounds. I always critique this on OnePlus on their front-facing cameras, but I'd say it kind of just depends on the feel, on what you want. Like I said, I don't know if you guys are able to capture, or the phones are able to capture like the drizzle that's going on. But I'd say both cameras are pretty comparable. If you had to be objective on which one was better, I'd say the camera system capabilities overall on the Galaxy are better. And this has always been a nitpick in my recent videos of the OnePlus 13, is where the background, at least with my skin tones, it doesn't really know what to do, whereas everything seems to be pretty sharp and pretty captured properly on the Galaxy series and even the Pixel. Whereas OnePlus really doesn't know what they're doing. They're getting close, but I think it just needs a little bit more refinement overall. So hopefully they can take this footage, use it for their review. Don't know if a lot of people like me are buying this phone regardless. But yeah, I'd say that's really the only nitpick I would say they need to fix. You guys let me know how the stabilization is while I walk on some snow. I'd say doing a pretty good job. Front-facing camera is what a lot of people use. So with that, I'm gonna wrap up the video comparison. You guys let me know if you enjoy segments like this, where I'm actually talking over it and switching between the mics, or if you just want me to do like voiceovers and stuff like that, like some other YouTube channels. So video comparison complete.
I will say though, the OnePlus has come a long way ever since they've done this partnership with Hasselblad. I think starting with the OnePlus 8, if I'm not mistaken. No, OnePlus 9 was when they started doing this whole Hasselblad. Actually, I don't even know. I'll have it somewhere on the screen, but it was either the 8 or 9 when they started doing the Hasselblad implementation. And the camera has just been the biggest hit when it comes to OnePlus, but over the years, they've definitely made a lot of strides and they've come a long way. But you can't deny the fact that I would argue a lot of the R&D goes to the camera system and the optimization, the processing for these other flagship companies like Samsung, Google, and Apple. That being said, most people taking photos and videos probably won't even care because this is a comparison. I have both phones side by side. But I would say the clear winner is the Ultra here. Samsung invests a lot into their camera system, and it shows. Now, I know some of you guys are going to be talking about specs and whatnot, and I'll just get right into it. So they both have 256 gigabytes of storage and 12 gigs of RAM starting out. They both have the Snapdragon 8 Elite, with the Ultra being clocked slightly higher. The Ultra can also go up to 1 terabyte of storage with 16 gigs of RAM here in the States. The OnePlus, unfortunately, can only go up to 512 gigabytes of storage with 16 gigs of RAM. And that's pretty much what's only offered here in the States. Overseas, you might actually have other options, but OnePlus caps it out at 512 here in the States. Now, even though these both have the same chip with lots of iterations on the software from both companies, the fluidity, hands down, I would say goes to OnePlus. I would say it's one of the most fluid Android devices I've used. It's very fast, sometimes too fast for my taste. And as you can just see here, just swiping back and forth, you know, they're both pretty fluid, but I mean, really, when you interact with the screen on the OnePlus, it's just a smoother and a more fluid experience compared to what I've experienced on the Ultra series. The Ultra at times just seems to jitter and hitch at times, whereas the OnePlus is just keeping up with my finger no matter what. And I know another thing that people don't really talk about too much, and it is, can I go back, Samsung? Thank you. One of the other things that I talk about, or that I think people don't talk about too much, are the haptics. And OnePlus, I always make a statement whenever I do my unboxing, but the haptic engine inside of OnePlus and the feedback you get is just superb compared to what I feel in other Android devices. And the fact that this is coming in cheaper than other flagship phones and OnePlus is outdoing them just says a lot. And compared to what I've experienced on other Android devices, the OnePlus haptic engine is one of the best in the industry. I've also realized that I haven't done a speaker test in a while, so here's a speaker test. So hopping back to specs real quick, because I'm kind of all over the place at this point, let's talk about battery life. So there is a way bigger battery in the OnePlus 13 at 6,000 milliamp hours versus the 5,000 milliamp hours in the S25 Ultra. And that might lead you to believe that the OnePlus 13 with the same chip, same specs overall, would have crazy long battery life, which it does. But it doesn't drastically feel longer or better than the S25 Ultra. I'd say maybe like 30 minutes up to an hour, which I would argue is good. But in terms of day-to-day experience, in terms of waking up and using my phone by the end of the day, they'll both last me no problems. And like I say at the end of most of my day in the life videos, most people aren't going to increase the resolution, be on cellular all day, and since they're not doing that, it's actually going to prolong your battery life. Some people might be on Wi-Fi, they might charge in the middle of the day, and charging in the middle of the day, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent here, is where the OnePlus just takes it to another level. They claim that in 30 minutes it can go from dead to 100%, and I have proof to back it up. I'll have like a clip here or something. I think technically their marketing is like 36 minutes to be exact, but regardless, the charging speeds on the OnePlus 13 are just insane. And I don't know if it's like the whole marketing tactic of them saying, oh, it takes 36 minutes, but in reality, when a person does it themselves, it's 30 minutes. So it's almost like they know how fast it is. But regardless, charging speeds on the OnePlus 13 is just insane. But coming back to battery life, I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but you know, there is just so much focus on battery life these days. But what we still need to talk about are charging speeds, and I would say charging speeds are so fast these days. The S25 Ultra is slower, but I would say if you have somewhere to go, like if you got to go somewhere and you only have like 15 minutes or 20 minutes to get ready, if you plug both of these devices up with their proper adapter in order to charge as fast as possible, by the time you're ready to go, both these devices are going to have enough juice to get you through whatever situation you need to go through. The OnePlus, though, is probably going to leave you at 100% 9 times out of 10. Just saying. Now, Samsung does have AI features that honestly run circles around OnePlus to some extent. I don't use those features, and going from one Android device to another, I really don't feel like I'm missing out on much. As long as I have Gemini or ChatGPT installed on my device, most of my AI assistant needs are met. I guess you can call me a boomer because I still text and call people when needed and don't want my AI to do that yet. But if you want the latest Google AI features or things like live calling, transcribing, and things like that, the Galaxy is the clear winner. OnePlus does offer some Google AI features like circle search, which I don't really would classify as AI features. It does have some of it, but the Samsung Galaxy series, especially on the latest devices, always get the latest features from Google first. Some of the features Samsung is offering is a subscription soon, so that's another reason why I really don't want to use it, because there's no point, because I don't intend to pay subscription for my device after I've bought it, but we'll get into that in a separate video. So that's the AI front. Let's just give that winner or crown over to Samsung. You might get fingerprints all over the back on the Samsung, but on the front where your fingerprint needs to be are these ultrasonic sensors where, as you can see, it's pretty quick. I'd say animation-wise, if you were to get rid of it on the Galaxy, it's probably about the same. But knowing OnePlus, their whole slogan, never settling, everything's all about performance and speed, it's pretty quick, right? Overall, these are both very good top end Android devices, but it goes back to the original question of, is the Ultra worth $400 more than the OnePlus 13? Objectively, the Ultra has more capabilities, things like DeX, the pen, the Samsung ecosystem with their ultra wideband chip, the connectivity, their watches, their buds, their laptops, their TVs, their washing machines, their fridges, smart things. If it has a Samsung logo on it, it was probably made in Korea, Vietnam, or China. It's part of the Samsung ecosystem, where OnePlus, on the other hand, is still trying to build out their ecosystem, right? They have their buds, they have their watches. I think they even have TVs in select places around the world. Not here in the States, but OnePlus is also building out their ecosystem, so that might be another reason why you might be swayed over towards Samsung, since they have a more mature ecosystem. However, if you're solely interested in just getting a good phone and pairing it with earbuds or headphones, or maybe the ecosystem is whatever for you, I would pick up the OnePlus easily. And I don't add in that word easily there without a reason, because sure, you're not getting the best cameras, you're not getting 7 years of software support, you're getting 4 at least. DeX, you're not getting, which I rarely use. The other thing that I would say you're missing out on is the harder to use one-handedness of the device. By the way, I forgot to mention that the OnePlus offers AirDrop to iPhones, so that makes it easier to AirDrop to my friends and family who believe they have a superior device for whatever reason. But hey, still AirDrop to them on an Android device. Maybe that'll sway them over to the dark side. Just kidding. Phone's dark, terrible joke. Let's continue.
Breaking the review real quick, just want to show you guys about the airdropping, because I don't think I've actually showcased this at all. But if you hit the share button on the OnePlus, it's the 13, there is a share with iPhone button. You click that. You don't have to convert it to a compatible format. Just touch like you would do on any airdrop. Don't have to wait for the animation. I just did it just because. Hit open here. And then on the OnePlus side, you will see, or I should say on the iPhone side, you'll see to join the personal hotspot. Give it a sec. Up here, it should change to like one device or something. And then you'll see the AirDrop do its job. Just like that. And I'd say it's fairly quick. There's no need for me to do like a quick edit or anything. So if you intend to AirDrop like pretty big files, because this video is like a little over a gig, has HDR, or it's actually Dolby Vision, it actually does it pretty quick. And this is an iPhone 13 Pro. So I'll just click View Photo, and just like that, it's airdropped. And on top of that, if I go to info here, come on iPhone, I was doing so good in one take. If I do, well, yeah, I was gonna show you, it has the HDR tag at the top, but even then, if I go to info at the bottom, it shows Dolby Vision. So everything that comes from this OnePlus gets dropped over to this phone. And as you can see, it's all there. And it's glorious. It's pretty good.
I just personally think that my $400 are better spent on something else. And it might seem like I named a lot of things that might sound like they're worth $400 more, but think about it like this, and I really want you to think about this. Like, stop whatever you're doing and listen to this part. The OnePlus is objectively just a better device if you care about base functionalities of what a phone is supposed to deliver at a cheaper price. Has a great modem, has great battery life, great microphone, call quality. It can handle tasks that I need throughout the entire day. It can capture moments and quality that I'm okay with, right? That is a very important thing. The photos and videos that it captures, I'm okay with that quality. Sure, the Ultra does it better, but the quality that this phone takes for photos and videos, I'm okay with that. And all the other essential things a phone needs to do, the OnePlus, I would argue, does it better than the S25 Ultra. The Ultra doesn't really do the essentials $400 better. It has features that I most likely won't use for $400 extra, so why would I spend the extra money? I have Sony headphones and I also have the Galaxy Buds, and it's not like I'm tied to the ecosystem. I can easily use that with the OnePlus 13. And I mean, I could go on a very long monologue about this, but I just don't really see the point. And that's what's making it come hard, or like, it's hard for me to come to terms with, because this Ultra series has been one of my favorite phones for like the past 3 years. But it truly does feel like OnePlus at a cheaper price is just offering a much better experience, where it seems like Samsung is kind of losing their vision of what the Ultra is supposed to be. I don't even own a Samsung TV or an appliance, and my smart home is set up with Home Assistant. So my smartphone just needs to be a solid phone, which the OnePlus does at below $1,000. And I also want to pause here because it might seem like I'm putting down the S25 Ultra. And if you have the device, you might feel personally attacked. If you love your device, love your device. Don't regret your decision. If it works for you, it works for you. But you can't excuse the competition like OnePlus is offering a lot of good things. In some categories, better, worse in other categories, but for $400 less. And you bet in other countries, this $400 is like 16 bajillion euros, or like a decamillion Canadian dollars, or like a Googleplex in some random cryptocurrency that's going to be rug pulled. Why would I waste the excess money on the Ultra? No disrespect to Samsung, by the way. Plus, at least OnePlus is giving you a charger in the box and doesn't say they are doing everything to be eco-friendly while charging you more and stripping out features year after year, making you work longer hours, cutting back on certain things just to get a more expensive device. I really don't see the point. Save those hours and pick up the OnePlus 13. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. I appreciate every single sub, like, and comment. As always, guys, much love. I'm going to toss the OnePlus 13 in the dishwasher so it comes out clean in the morning. Good night. I'm out. Sorry, Samsung. I had to. It's just objectivity at this point. I love you, but I'd rather have the OnePlus 13 any day of the week with my personal money. It's a $400 difference, and the question is it worth the extra $400? I need to be shaking the Ultra, not the... And the question is it worth the extra bells and whistles on the $400 device? Why am I adding in words for whatever reason? And I'll also add in Wi-Fi calling on the website. Coming off of the